You know, it's funny. Sometimes the most fascinating stories are hidden in the most ordinary places, like in documents we see every day and don't even think about. Today, we're going to do exactly that. We're going to take a single page from an e-learning module and unpack it to see what kind of story it's really telling.
So, I want you to think of this page as a kind of artifact, like a little mystery box. I mean, on the surface, yeah, it's just a bunch of text. But if we look a little closer and we start asking the right questions, it can actually open up this whole world of context about education, culture, and even technology. So, let's start digging in.
All right, so our very first clue is right there in the title. Now, unless you happen to speak Urdu, this is probably just a string of words. That's totally fine. Our first job as investigators here is pretty simple. Let's just decode what this actually means piece by piece.
Okay, the first part is novel Nigari, and that translates pretty directly to the art of novel writing. The word Nigari is key here because it implies a craft, an art form. So this tells us we're not just talking about books, we're talking about the skill and the artistry that goes into making them. And just like that, the first piece of our puzzle is solved. Now for the second part, Aghaz Irteqa. This one means beginning and evolution. And that right there tells us the scope of this whole thing. We're not just looking at a snapshot in time, we're about to go on a historical journey. It's all about the origins, the growth, and how things have changed over the years.
So, let's put it all together. The big mystery of the title is officially solved. The module is all about the beginning and evolution of Urdu novel writing. See? In just a couple of steps, we've gone from a phrase that might have seemed confusing to a really clear, solid topic. Now we know exactly what this is about.
But knowing the what is really only the beginning. To really understand this artifact of ours, we need context. Like, who is this actually made for? And where in the world did it come from? Well, luckily for us, the page itself has all the answers. And this is why paying attention to the small details is so powerful. Look at this. In just a few lines, we learn pretty much everything we need to know. The institution is the Maulana Azad National Urdu University, which is in India. The course is a master's degree in Urdu. We even know it's part of a specific paper that covers a bunch of different literary forms. We've just pinpointed its exact academic home.
So let's just stop for a second and appreciate what this means. This isn't some beginner's guide or a high school reading list. No, this is serious graduate-level academic stuff from a national university. That tells us a ton about the depth of the material and the level of knowledge expected from its audience. The story just got a whole lot more specific.
Okay, so we've got the what, the where, and the for whom, but content like this doesn't just appear out of thin air, right? Real people create it. So the next logical question has to be, who are the makers? Who actually put this whole module together?
And yep, once again, the page just gives us the answer. We've got Professor M.D. Zafaruddin, who's the academic expert, the one handling the content and the presentation, and then we have M.D. Mujahid Ali, who's the producer. All of a sudden, our document isn't just text anymore. It has a human element, a team working behind the scenes.
And this is a really important insight into how things work today. Creating modern e-learning isn't something one person does alone anymore. It's a collaboration. It's kind of like a film crew, right? You have your expert, the writer, and the star, which in this case is the professor, and then you have the producer, the person who's handling all the technical stuff to package it up into a final product for the students.
Okay, so we've taken this one page and we've really pulled it apart. We decoded the language, we mapped out its context, we even met the creators. But now let's zoom out. What does all of this really add up to? Why is this little investigation even important?
Our process was actually pretty straightforward, right? We decoded the topic, we mapped its academic context, and then we identified its creators. But that simple process of deconstruction actually reveals something much, much bigger.
And here it is. This is the core takeaway. This single page represents a pretty fascinating intersection. It's where the rich, deep history of classical Urdu literature meets head-on with modern digital education. It is the exact point where a centuries-old tradition gets repackaged by technology for a whole new generation of learners. How cool is that? So, the next time you glance at a cover page or a syllabus or even just a simple memo at work, maybe take a second look. I mean, if one page about Urdu novels can tell us a story about the evolution of education itself, just imagine the stories that are waiting to be unpacked all around us. What are we missing every single day?